To express one's feelings as the end draws near is too intimate a task. But I may mention one thought that comes to me as a listener in. The riders in a race do not stop short when they reach the goal.
For over 28 years, he presided over the Supreme Court, maintaining in the face of rancorous criticism and amid the excesses of passion.
Freedom of the mind and the spirit has its practical aspects in everyday life. It includes the right of every man to live and work in peace.
After Congress has acted on the pact, our committee will ask the Congress to pass a resolution calling a convention to explore how far the United States and the other democracies can go towards forming a true federation.
Vain task. How in the world can you keep people from learning who mix with others out on the street and around in the various places? They're going to learn, but that's not the reason I take that view. The reason I take the view is that it's an expression of opinion.
Is with the action of the Senate in so generously approving of my nomination. May I take this occasion to express gratitude to those who have shown in so many ways their confidence and approval.
The unfolding of our republic is the story of the greatest racial admixture in history. Of the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence, 18 were of non-English stock.
The only power that the court has is the power of public opinion, the consensus of people to live under a regime of law rather than under some kind of dictatorship.
There has not been one fatality, and the civil liberties of our people have not been surrendered.
We do not want Germany to become the satellite of any power or powers, or to live under a dictatorship, foreign or domestic.
Now, this may seem like a fantastic exaggeration, but this is what you would actually be obliged to conclude if you were to acquit these defendants.
Workers promptly intervened and asked that it be certified. Mastro at first had the cooperation of its employees, who withdrew their membership from their presently...
And so we don't have any army and we don't have any exchequer. And so we have to have only the force of opinion that will rally support to the court through the public.
Here you don't have an assignment, do you? These people to drive these particular jeeps, trucks, or whatever they are, over to the recreation.
Still not clear as to the basis for your view that the case should be, the District of Columbia case should be remanded. I got it originally from your papers that you thought that it should be remanded in order to have the fuller hearing.
It seems to me that to explain why a dissenter holds out, we ought to examine some of the many different functions of dissents. Not only are all dissents not created equal, but they're not intended to be so.
If a juror whose name is in this wheel moves away, how does the jury commissioners know about that? Or assume they find out in some way. Do they then go and take his name out of the wheel?
In a way, I regret having once said about obscenity, I know it when I see it, because I think that's going to be on my tombstone.
The swearing in of a Supreme Court justice is undoubtedly a very serious affair, but it's also a very exciting one, and I'm quite glad to be here to stand in for the Chief Justice.
Also requires us to remember that our national power, great as it is not unlimited, and that our interest and responsibilities are not unlimited either.
and I'll never forget this. If I shouldn't lay it on the line, what's the presidency for? And that came to me last night, along with a lot of very personal and very warm memories.
What is important is a goal toward which you're moving, a goal that is the basis of true democracy, which is over and above the law. And it's something that won't happen, but you must brave for it and work for it.
To have it that way, but finally, of course, in the Collins case of a year or so ago, I still felt the same, but looked at it from the point of application of the death penalty and felt that it could not be administered and applied.
Before I even went on the bench, I should have a tentative view, a fairly firm tentative view as to how the case should be decided. And the reason for that is the way the system operates here.
Well, the fact that John W. Davis argued for over an hour and I think was asked only one question. I mean, he had a style of advocacy that you don't hear nowadays, but it was very impressive. And then Solicitor General Perlman got a whole bunch of questions from the court.
Well, I'm sure he's surprised at some of them. I mean, I'm surprised at some of the opinions of my colleagues. I suppose on the base of the opinions I've written. There's an awful lot of them. They have to pick and choose among them, but you leave your record on what you've had to say over the years.
I think one of the most amazing things about the process for granting certiorari or denying it is the fact that every petition, whether it's filed by high-priced legal counsel or whether it's written by some prisoner sitting in jail someplace in his own hand, gets the same individual consideration.
I will stipulate that you can do some things with an evolving Constitution that you can't do with fidelity to the original Constitution that the people ratified. Okay? I will also stipulate that kings can do stuff that good stuff that a democratic society could never achieve.
One of the things you learn when you're a judge is that you're not the only person in the room that is objective, disinterested, detached, knowledgeable, unbiased. Your other colleagues feel the same way, and you have to recognize that.
When I got here, some of my colleagues said to me, you've got to give it 3 years. And after 3 years, it will not seem so overwhelming and so strange. One of them said, pay no attention to the 3-year rule, it takes 5.
Yes, the anonymity's gone. That is probably, or was probably, one of the more difficult things to accept. The sort of loss of anonymity, the ability to walk down the mall unnoticed or to go to Home Depot unnoticed.
There was not a single woman on any federal bench. It would not be a realistic ambition for a woman to want to become a federal judge.
Once confirmed, all of us are primarily responsible to the law, to this institution, to your own conscience, and the public no longer has a direct ability to influence the decision through the ballot box. That's why that confirmation process is a very important thing.
I did write that, but it was really a joke. It was like saying my ambition is to be the quarterback in the Super Bowl or the winning pitcher in the World Series. It was a dream that I never thought I would come close to realizing.
And we have our share of 5-4 decisions. But is it partisan, or is it because, as I believe, we approach judicial decision-making in different ways?
And one of the things that's interesting about this set of opinions is that even the principal dissent in this case really stays away from that and does not try to re-argue the proposition that simple moral disapproval is sufficient.
That's what we do. I can find you 100 if I can find you one Supreme Court decision that says that judges should interpret statutes and contracts according to their original public meaning. And I'm unclear why we shouldn't do the same thing with the Constitution.
Article 3 of the Constitution provides that the judicial power shall be vested in one Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is an institution of law. It is not a partisan or political institution.
A judge declares independence not only from Congress and the President, but also from the private beliefs that might otherwise move her. The judicial oath captures the essence of the judicial duty.
I hope to inspire people to try to follow this path because I love this country, because I think it is important that we all invest in our future.